Right, good evening. Welcome to episode 10, Talking Wanderers. The last episode that we're going to do for the season. The season's over now. And we've got Gaz. You all right, mate?
Yeah, well, yeah, very well, thank you, my friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Recovered from Saturday?
Yes, yeah. Lemonade was fine. A couple of lemonades and I was fine.
Yeah, I heard.
So it was good. No, it was a great night. It was a great night at the end of it.
Well, it was a nice way for the season to be wrapped up, wasn't it?
Superb it was. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Also, we've got with us, introduce yourself, gents.
So Dan Stobbart, doing match reports and the socials for the club, and been fortunate to do it for the last few years since the promotion to the National League South. So I just can't believe we're at the end of another season. It's been unbelievable, gone unbelievably quick. But doing that and other media bits around the football club as well this year, and getting the opportunity to work in the academy as well, which has been really good. So but no, it's flown by, absolutely flown by. Yeah,
excellent. And also.
Hi, I'm Toby Oliver and I do the Dorking vlogs on DWF TV, on YouTube, home and away. Pleasure to be on it.
Excellent. Right,
welcome.
Welcome, Toby. And that is one of the reasons why we've got you on here tonight, mate. So tell us a little bit about your channel then. How did it start up?
To be honest, it started as a little bit of a joke, to be honest. Like, me and a couple of my mates said, do you want to start a YouTube channel? And they said, go on then. What should it be called? And we said, Dorking Fan TV or something, where you can just do some vlogs up and down, following Dorking. So, it really did start with no aims, no nothing, until it started getting the big hits that it does now, that I never really thought it would. It's just become more and more, hang on, this is something good on my hands here. So really it only started as a little fun joke around, really.
Obviously you enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it now. Really love it.
Yeah. Because I remember when you first started, it was like you, your brother, and another lad. I don't remember his name.
Probably Peter.
There were three of you, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I remember you starting it, and but it's like an addiction. Once you get started, enjoy it.
I literally don't regret it, mate. It's probably the best thing that's happened to me since ages that I can remember. To be honest, it's one of the best things, and I don't regret it, Gary.
No, and you get a lot of people give you good feedback as well, don't you? Especially
the Wrexham fans. That's mad. There was this one time when we went to Wrexham, I was coming from the turf where we all got the drinks and stuff, and
non-alcoholic for you though.
Not for me. I was on the fruit juice that time. But yeah, we were walking to the away end, and then there's this Wrexham guy. There's this Welsh dude came up to us, and he was like, "Hang on, you're the kid that does the vlogs," and it was just so surreal how that happened. They just know me. Just from that. And
don't that feel nice?
It feels brilliant, mate.
Someone know who you are.
Yeah.
And they say hello and you thought, wow, how do you know me?
How do you know me? Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
But that's a great feeling, isn't it?
It is a great feeling, mate. It's
Superb.
Really good.
So this season then you've really been sort of focusing on it quite a lot, haven't you? Pretty much done...
Yeah, it's just sort of...
every game you can, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've not missed many. I've really only the long midweek treks that I've had to miss.
We all done that, I think.
Yeah. But, yeah, just don't regret it at all. And it's been a great season following them. And to showcase it to YouTube, to be honest, it was really good to follow them and, get a lot of good reviews on it.
So how many subscribers have you got at the moment then, Toby?
Just shy of 1,500. So hope to... get past our aim for this time next year is past 2K, but it's just not far away from 1,500, and really proud of it, to be honest.
Yeah, so you should be, mate. So anyone watching or listening, where can they find it then? On YouTube, and it just search
DWF TV,
FC TV.
That's it,
and that'll bring that up. Excellent. And what do you record it all on? Is it just on your phone?
I mean, it did start on my phone, but I've saved up for a camera, saved up for a computer to edit on, and it's gotten really more professional as it's grown, to be honest. But yeah, I did film on my phone for quite a lot of last season, so that's why the quality's kind of got a bit better since the start of this season.
So you just learned on the job, basically, then?
Literally, mate, self-taught.
Because editing is really hard, very, very hard, and time-consuming.
Yeah, to be honest, it takes me 2-3 hours after the game to edit it, and then it takes a long time to export and upload, Gaz. So it's very time consuming.
Because you're only 14.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that's it.
This is your first time or the second season we're doing it, and like you just said, on your phone, it's just like normal doing your phone, isn't it? But now a camera.
It's a big step up.
Yeah. No, well done. Superb.
Yeah, it's just gotten better and better over the season, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
And I noticed that you've interviewed a few of the players. You interviewed Mark, didn't you?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Got Mark the other day, and he was really happy to do it. He's literally, I can't thank all the guys at the club for, get free coach travel, season ticket every year. So, it's almost like getting paid back for what you do. So I can't thank them enough, to be honest.
Yeah. So next season, what's your aim for next season, because obviously you interview Mark. I think that should be quite a regular thing. And players, and players as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll try and get a lot more interviews onto the channel for next year. So look out for that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And what about away game? Would you go I know they all do it really, but talk about the ground, the away grounds?
Yeah, I'll definitely bring more of that into it, to be honest. The history of the club and the grounds that we're going to, just some quick fire facts maybe, just to bring into it just before you go into the ground or something like that.
A good idea.
Definitely a good idea.
No grounds have had any issues with you going in and filming or anything?
There was this one incident at Chesterfield where the stewards wouldn't let us in. They were like, you can't bring that in. But me and my dad were standing outside the turnstile for at least 45 minutes.
Right.
And they said they'd bring a guy over. No one turned up, so we were like, we're just going to go reception for this. And we found one of the secretaries there, and he said, of course you can take it in. So, if anything, the stewards were making it up, to be honest. So, but other than that, there's been no issues whatsoever. And if anyone asks you filming, just say you're taking pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's it.
Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, no.
Can we edit that bit?
Anyway.
Cool.
So, you, Dan, a little bit about you, matey, because you were a Woking supporter, weren't you?
Well, I did. No, a lot of support. I live in Woking. Not a supporter of the club. I obviously follow what they do, being very local to the ground and everything. And the year before getting involved with Wanderers, I was doing reporting on and off for them amongst a team of several guys there. It was the season they went up under Dowson, got promoted from National League South. And but yeah, in the close season, at the end of that campaign, I was looking to just get involved on a more regular basis, really. And it obviously coincided with the point in time where Wanderers went up from the Isthmian Prem to the National League South, and just joined the media team at that point on the proviso of doing match reports pretty much every game, or certainly the vast majority of games, and with a view to just getting involved with more of the social media side as well. And the timing to get involved and the journey we've been on these last 4 years, just unbelievable.
Just right, isn't it?
Yeah, very much. The club's journey, it's with regret, really. I've worked in retail all my life, so it's with regret I've not managed to get around local football as much as I would have liked to over the years before getting involved with Woking and then Dorking. But so I could have taken in obviously more of the journey in the West Humble days, and it's with regret I wasn't able to get there as much as I would have liked. But yeah, this last 4 years of being involved with the club and the journey we've been on, every year, at the end of that first season, obviously to just miss out on the playoffs and all the difficulties we had with COVID the following year, to get over the line last year in the way that we did, as we know. And then the journey we've been on this year, and I've been very lucky to be at every game this year, home and away, and it's just been, again, really tough circumstances, and we'll obviously go on to it, won't we, as we sort of dissect the season, but again, against a lot of odds this season as well, on and off the field, haven't we? So, no, brilliant, and I'm just very grateful to the club for being able to be involved as much as I can be, and also the academy this season as well, and they've had a bit of a sort of parallel thing where they've gone up to the National League as well, the under-19 side, so it was kudos to obviously Jordan and everyone in the academy, the work they're doing, absolutely brilliant. So we've been involved with that on the same sort of level as the first team this season. It's been fantastic, yeah. So long may it continue. And again, like I said at the start, it's gone so quickly. It really has. And feel like yesterday we were on the opening day at Chesterfield, welcoming them. So no, absolutely flown by. And look forward to what's coming up pre-season being announced later this week. So we'll be going again very, very shortly, won't we? Yeah.
Because you go to grounds, because you like to cover all the ground, look at all the grounds. How many grounds have you done so far? Can you remember or not? Yeah,
for football, yeah. I'm trying to do it in the process of doing the 92. I'm up to 68 at the moment, so we're getting there slowly. We're getting there. But but yeah, then in non-league, and this is the thing as well, which on a personal note, to have got round, it's only been to maybe several of the grounds in the National League Prem. So, the experience of getting to ticking off so many of those grounds away from home this year has been fantastic as well.
So you haven't missed the game then?
But no, I haven't. No,
wow.
as sad as as sad as that is, I've not. No, I've been. But again, grateful to the club for obviously, especially with some of the away days. Obviously, that Gateshead, of course, midweek cropping up and being able to go with the team and taking those games and be part of it, and obviously support on the media side. Brilliant, but no, not missed a game this season. So it's it's.
And you work a little bit. You don't work. You work a little bit sort of beside Mark. When you need to talk to him about previews and all that, you have a chat with him, and he's got a good understanding with you, and you with him as well.
Yeah, no, and Mark, we know how transparent and open Mark is, and that right through to everything we do with media. He's always very supportive, and in terms of what we do. But he won't be shut off from it at the same time. So it's a really good dynamic we've got there, where there's an understanding there that where we can collaborate rather than being sort of two separate entities or on different pages and then that kind of thing. So it's good. And obviously, when you've not been there, Gary, to have obviously spoke to Mark for some of the interviews pre and post match, and support on that side of things has been something that I've got more involved with this year as well. So that's again grateful for the opportunities. But again, Mark, as we know, so easy to obviously chat to post matches, as we know, and such a detailed insight of the games as well. So it always makes our job always very, very easy, doesn't it?
Well done, mate. Well done for the season.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so one of the things that we did in preparation for this was we asked everybody for, excuse me, like an end of season review and thoughts from the fans. We asked for player of the season, game of the season, best moment, funniest thing they'd seen, best away day. A few people added some other bits and pieces as well. So we're just going to work our way through these, probably add some of our own, and just mention some of these bits. So from the Dorking Wanderer on Twitter, so he went for Tony Craig as player. Now, Tony Craig didn't play the entire season, but I think that speaks volumes for how impressive he was when he came in for that short spell at the end. His best game was the Notts County game at home, which quite a few other people have mentioned, obviously. We won 3-1. Quite an amazing afternoon, really, that one. His moment of the season was Jason Pryor coming back, actually.
The Messiah.
And obviously that was kind of announced on a Saturday morning, wasn't it? Just before we went and played Aldershot, and it was a little bit out of the blue. No one really knew about it. I remember some people being at the game, hadn't even heard about it, and then saw him out there in the warm-up and couldn't believe they were like rubbing their eyes. So that was for him. That was his moment of the season. His funniest moment was Adam Meckie and his shoes and his inner soles on a bunch of amateurs. And the best away day, and a couple of other people have said this, was Wrexham, just because how friendly the fans were. I think somebody else mentioned there's no condescension or patronising attitude from them whatsoever. They were just really friendly, weren't they? You remember, like when we were in the car park outside the ground, and that's how it should be, really. Everybody just chatting, asking about the club and your journey up there, and seeing people that you've seen on the documentary as well, which is a bit weird, and being outside the pub and seeing Wayne from the turf and some of the other supporters there and things like that. And also, when we came out, they gave out like little gift bags to all the fans from the away end. Did you get one of them, Toby?
Yeah, I got one.
Had a Wrexham Lager beer mat. It had, I think, 2 packets of crisps in there and some other bits and pieces as well, because I remember getting back onto the coach afterwards and just the rustling noise of the crisps. Everyone was eating the crisps. And some Welsh cakes as well, I think.
Nice thought, wasn't it? That's a nice thought.
Yeah, absolutely lovely touch, that. And I don't know whether they do that every game for the away fans. But it was a really nice touch as we all came out.
I think obviously part of it, and they were true to their word, to be fair, because when we obviously, Mark did his, he's done a number of times this season, put a bit of money behind the bar, and the owners just directly came out, didn't they, and said that they'd look after us, and absolutely stuck to their word, didn't they? Fantastic.
Yeah, that free pint of, or the free bottle of Wrexham Lager. outside went down well, I think.
Yeah.
And Mark obviously came out into the car park as well. With the
Chicken on his head. Before we carry on, that cockerel that was on, or the cock that was the mascot on Saturday, did you see that?
Dorkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorkers, yeah, the
Dorkers.
town.
Yeah.
The town,
Wow.
like the Rotary from the town,
We need him every home game.
Yeah.
They've been crying out, especially with the logo and what we were about.
Oh,
We've been
yeah.
crying out for a mascot.
We need a mascot,
Years,
don't we?
yeah.
We do need a
We've been
mascot.
crying out for one.
We need a
Yeah.
mascot.
When he was walking around, or the I don't know, lady man, or whoever did it.
I got a high five, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
We've got to get him every home game because the kids love him.
So,
Yeah,
I think it's a
100%.
long-term deal he signed, not just a one-off. Yeah, that'd be good.
Definitely. Anyway,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what you could do when you come back, Az.
What, dress as a
Dress
cop?
up. Maybe a bit hot, mate.
Right. I've been called it, but I'm never going to dress up with it.
Gaz, do you want to talk about what Tom Calvert sent in then?
Yeah, Tom Calvert, do we know him?
Yeah, he's another one of our followers on social media.
Yeah.
I know Tom, he stands down near me at home games and he's been to quite a few away games on the coach and stuff this season. So he's seen a lot of Dorking this year, so in a good place to comment really on some of these.
Well, thanks for your support, Tom. Really appreciate it, mate. Right, so his player is McShane as a player for the goals he scored.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 17 goals this season. He was on fire. He was on fire at one time, and if he weren't from the Wrexham guys, I think he would have been up there or close to being one of the top. Well, he was one of the top goal scorers in the league, but he would have been even closer
for number 10,
And-
kind of attacking midfield player.
And I commented on a lot of during the games how many times the ball kept going over their guy, and he weren't involved on the games for a whole 90 minutes. He might just pop up.
Yeah.
And, he won't mind me saying this either. He scored lots of good goals and he missed a couple of goals as well, what I mean, where he could have gone up to 20 goals a season.
Yeah.
So definitely, his goals were superb for us. And, we'll talk about some of his goals over the evening. Again, Notts games away, a game of the season. I saw it at home. Notts game at the home was his favourite. McShane getting a third as the moment of the season. McManus and Josh Taylor attacking each other was the funniest.
Yeah,
Did that come off? Did they get a goal after they did that, or was that? I can't remember
I
that.
think it was offside, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Yeah, but I remember someone tackled each other, and they got
then they
Dan
got a shot
Gallagher
off.
and someone. Yeah, definitely. So that's his funniest moment, and Woking away. Yeah, that was a very good game.
Yeah, it was a good game, wasn't it?
3-3, good game, loads of Dorking. It was a great atmosphere there, wasn't it? And
I think we had over 500 in that away bid, didn't we, that
100%.
night along that side?
And it was a good
got
game.
in that stand
was
at
a
the end, and
great
it was
game.
just an end-to-end, like
Proper roller coaster. Yeah.
That's where their manager sort of nicknamed us a gunslinger.
Yeah, but and also, we could have come away winners of that.
Yeah, I know.
We could have come away winners of that, 3-2 winners, and I can't remember what minute they scored in, but they scored
Must
quite
have
I think it was
been
in the
late
last
on,
10. Just in the last 10, maybe. Bruce
later
Brown.
on, wasn't it?
It was a great game, and like you said, all the fans, a good gate there, and there was a great support for us. So, and finally, best goal goes to Wheeler. Yeah, Nicky against Torquay.
Yeah.
Way he got the ball out of his feet because it was a right slippery, wasn't it? It was a slippery night. And he got the ball out of his feet and he slipped a bit. And I'm not sure if it was his weaker foot, but it was his left foot, I think.
No, it was right foot.
Right foot.
Yeah, right foot. Yeah.
And that was a super goal. But he's gone for 3 goals actually.
Yeah.
Frankham at home to Barnet, and McShane home to Gateshead.
Do you remember that one?
No.
That was where he pulled it down. In the centre of the pitch, controlled it virtually with his
the goalkeeper gave it away, didn't he? And he picked it up.
No, that was Notts County.
Oh, right.
So the Gateshead one, the ball got played into him at a bit of an awkward height, and he brought it down virtually with his toe.
100%.
And then, then he did one of your favourite things, Gary. He pirouetted.
Did he?
And then he sort of lobbed it, hit it over the keeper into the top corner.
Yeah. Goalkeeper was pretty tall, if I remember.
Yeah, that was my favourite goal, actually.
Yeah, really good goal.
Well, thanks very much, Tom. Really appreciate your time and effort and sending this in to us. Really do appreciate it, because without you guys, we wouldn't be having this show, would we?
No, definitely not. And I know, sat behind Tom, I think, on one of the coach trips to the away game, and he was listening to the podcast on his phone.
Well, like you said, you don't have to listen it onto the night. You can listen to it any time.
And that's what people were doing during the season. They were putting it to one side to listen to on coaches, because some of those journeys were quite long, weren't they? So they were listening to us rattling on, mate.
Gateshead away.
Toby, do you want to have a go at doing this one then? So Jack Richmond from Bunch of Amateurs, so one of the cameramen that Rich has got working with him for a Bunch of Amateurs. What's he gone for then?
So he's gone for McShane as the player of the season, similar to Tom.
Yeah.
Tony Craig's also worth a mention, he says. Definitely been a big impact in our team. Obviously, he hasn't been there the whole season, but it shows how much of an impact he's actually made to the team.
Definitely.
Ottaway as well, getting a mention. I think the hot dog's been outstanding, to be honest. He's really stepped up, like from the standard last year to 100%. Now. He's stepped up big time.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? I think credit to him, really, because I think there were probably a few people thinking, is he going to do it at this level?
Yeah.
But he's shown what you can do with determination and hard work. Yeah. And sort of good players around you, and how well he sort of fitted into the team, and the style of play has really suited him. So I have to tip my hat to him because he's done really well.
I spoke to him on Saturday funny enough about that, and I just exactly what you just said, Tobe. Yeah. I spoke to him about it, and he said he got confident. His confidence got bigger, and when he come on the pitch, he felt he could do something and change it. And you could see it when he come on the pitch. You could see that he looked like he could change the game.
He always gives it 110% all the time.
Yeah,
right?
And he almost became a bit of like a super sub, didn't he? A couple of times because games were perfectly set up for him.
Torquay at home.
So the Torquay game at home, it was sort of set up for him perfectly to come on. Yeah. So what's Jack gone for as his game of the season then?
His game of the season, a 3-2 win against Maidstone, where we were 2-1 down with about minutes to go, and Bobby Joe with the double. I'll give him that. That was a brilliant shout for a game of the season.
Do you remember that game, Gaz?
Yeah, I remember vaguely.
Because you basically medically diagnosed one of the Maidstone players with an ACL injury.
Oh, yeah.
He did go down.
Then seconds later, he was back up walking around absolutely fine.
I hate players that die, didn't you? I hate players that die, but modern player. But no, it was a cracking game.
Yeah.
What else is there?
What's he gone for as his moment then?
His moment was
a similar one to a couple of other people, hasn't he?
Pryor coming back, and I think that got us all, didn't it? Like where we didn't. Some people didn't, like you said earlier. Some people didn't even know he was there, and when they turned up, they saw him out there warming up, and they couldn't believe it. Yeah. I was one of them actually.
Yeah. Oh right.
It was a definitive week, that wasn't it? You mentioned Tony Craig as well there. It was that 7 days, and obviously the lead up to that Aldershot game that Aaron Kill joined on the Monday, and then the latter part of the week, Frankham's come in, Craig's getting Pryor. You think of the impact of the
first games
all of them have had
ones, weren't they?
Yeah, and the impact all of them had. So it's all that to have happened in the space of a matter of a few days. The Aldershot game just turned the whole season around, didn't it? So
for the funniest moment, he's gone for Jimmy not realising Torquay had a player sent off, or Gaz paying a visit to the porcelain bank at Eastleigh.
Let's
come on.
We won't talk about that one. But I do understand what Jimmy Hewitt said, because I spoke to him about that again, and he said, well, I was warming up.
Yeah.
I was warming up, and I was just concentrating on stretching, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't have a player sent off. But you can understand.
Sure,
like Cammy, innit?
It's not always obvious.
Has someone been sent off?
It's not always obvious at Meadowbank either, because where they get sent off from, if they go straight to the tunnel, you can't always necessarily see it's happened, especially because we've had a couple this season where the sending offs have happened over on that side.
In that corner.
And then they've gone straight to the sort of the changing rooms and everything along there, so you haven't necessarily seen it.
Yeah.
And I think Jack's also gone for his best away day. He's gone for Wrexham as well, hasn't he?
Game we won't get to go back there.
And I think the Bunch of Amateurs guys, obviously we saw it from fans, but they were doing the filming and everything, and they just said that they had such a good welcome from everybody there with the welcome to Wrexham crew as well, and the filming of Mark at the club and the training and everything, and then going up there and being introduced and met by everybody up there as well was. They said it was the hospitality and everything was absolutely brilliant. So, he's also gone for Wrexham. And it probably is a bit gutting that we're not going to go back there. Maybe we'll get them in the cup or something. We'll get anywhere near the cup.
But we've got other clubs coming down, so they, they're...
absolutely. We'll have a Rochdale.
Rochdale. They're quite a famous club. And, So the porcelain bank, I had to go, so that's it there. When you got to go, you got to go. Richard Grass. Richard.
Got to keep the wits about it.
Blame Rich then.
Rich called me on that.
What have we got next then, Dan?
So Stuart Elliott.
Yeah.
Hope you're well, Stu. so he's got Jimmy Muir as player, and of course Jimmy was. It was good to see this as well amongst the end of season awards. So you got the Macron Player of the Year, Jimmy, and fantastic to see that really, because I know there might have been some more obvious names and more sort of common consensus. But Jimmy, fantastic campaign he's had. Been really consistent throughout, hasn't he? And particularly in these last few weeks, him and Seb have been consistently playing in the team, and they've both been brilliant. Yeah, so no. And
he was another one where I didn't know whether he could step up to it, and he has. Not because you're not good enough, but he's just quite lightweight. And he's. We're playing some right athletes, aren't we? Like the fullbacks are fast, they're strong. Yeah, but he's done a real good job.
Yeah, like with Ottaway and players like that. It's that thing of this is new territory for them, isn't it? They've not played at this level before, and so naturally you're going to have that question mark of whether they can make that step up again. And Jimmy, great to see that he got that reward.
I think with Jimmy as well, it's his overall game. He's added some goals. He's been really good. He's tracking back, and his defensive work's been really good this year. He's really bought into the system, like you say, Dan. Towards the end of the season, when we had Seb one side, him the other, we looked far more like the old Dorking of old, where we were getting it wide and dropping balls in behind fullbacks for those two to run onto. And
absolutely,
how we played for the last few years, really stretching teams and using that overload as well. So. Yeah, definitely. I think he did deserve a mention. Yeah,
no, definitely. No, it's good, really good to see that. And Stuart's also gone with, in terms of moment of the year, he's gone for McShane tapping in the third against Notts County and securing the hat trick, getting the match ball. No, it's a popular choice, and it was a fantastic moment. He's gone for Maidstone at home as his game of the season, as we just touched on. Fantastic comeback there.
I think there's also a little bit of the fact that it was against Maidstone that's added to people's thing as well. We were moments away from, because we've got a good record against Maidstone, haven't we? We've never lost to them at home, haven't we? We lost to them once, I think, in a cup, didn't we? And that was about it. So moments away from
having played them
that,
at least twice every season, the last 4 seasons.
They still had Jack Barham in their side as well, didn't they? I think there's probably a little bit to that, but obviously it was a very good comeback as well. Yeah.
Funniest moment?
Yeah, Mitch falling over at Notts County.
I agree with that one. Live on TV.
Compounded by BT just playing it over and over, weren't they? And at half time, it was already 5 at half time.
He fell over again. Because his hip was hurting so much.
Oh, yeah, he couldn't
again move his leg properly, and he went to get down into the dugout, and he fell over again. So he fell over twice though after.
I say ban him for the dugout. I say for next season, ban him. Or Mark?
Yeah, he's gone with Mark as well at Surreal, turning around and shouting, "They're your wife's jeans" to the fan in the crowd. That was superb. Reminded me of the moment from last season as well at Dartford with the jacket as well. Similar thing. Yeah, brilliant timing and quick off the line there. Yeah, and then the away moment. Yeah, and I have to echo this myself as well. Oldham. Just a surreal moment watching Dorking at Boundary Park.
I'm surprised not many people got for that because they were on telly as well for the first time ever. Yeah. And like you said, it was like I never went, but it was like a big festival, wasn't it?
Absolutely, At the big procession before kick-off because it was the first home game of Frank's taking over the club, and just one occasion to be part of. It was the first time they'd packed the place up to that level for a long time. National anthem before kick-off. Frank did this big rousing speech, which is brilliant. Which is absolutely class, and he acknowledged Wanderer's journey as well, despite the week before having that little bit of banter about who Wanderers, but no, unbelievable occasion. That I know it's so early on; it was the first away game, but for me personally as well, I'd say that was the standout.
And I think since that as well, when they played us at home, there's been that kind of nice mutual kind of relationship between us and Oldham as well. I speak to some of their fans quite regularly on Twitter, and a couple of them, they sent the flat cap down. Mark had communicated with him throughout the season and things like that, and they've been looking out for our results and stuff. And I think
we've been on their podcast as well.
I think Mark went to a live event that their podcast team held at the weekend.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him singing Park Life on their social media. So
look at that one. Yeah. We've been on their podcast as well, haven't we? So,
they're really good guys on that podcast as well. Yeah. So David London, he has gone for Niall, playing through illness, always giving 100%. Yeah, Niall was pretty under the weather, I think, for a fair few games, and David's recognised that.
Bad injury. bad injury.
Bad injury that he's
How
up
many
towards
games
the
he
end of the
missed?
season.
Or how many-
Quite a few, yeah.
Half a dozen.
Yeah, this is last 2 to 3 months of the campaign. He's been ruled out with an Achilles injury, isn't he?
Yeah. So David also went for Maidstone at home, and as someone that's gone to a lot of games home and away this season, that's the one that David's picked out as the best game. And the moment, again, Tony Craig coming in on loan. I mean, there's lots of kind of things really, isn't there? But it's kind of constant theme running through Tony Craig fitting in either as the best player or that moment that he's coming on loan. And I guess maybe that's a kind of reflective thing because might not have realised it at the time, but actually how important he was when he came in. When you look back and think how solid and how much more defensively solid we looked when he came in. That was such a big...
What he himself brings, but also raising the standard of those around him was key as well. And obviously the chaps either side of him, and then crucially the guys in front, and Dan Gallagher and Dan, of course, and kudos to Dan. He had to move from centre back where he's been playing most of his time at Wanderers into that role that he joined the club in as a CDM holding player. But he just was absolutely superb and really a massive part of that collective defensive effort. And then that in of itself allowed Mauro and Josh to kind of do what they wanted to do a bit further up the field as well. So the knock-on effect,
massively. And I think as well, Dan behind him as well with Dan Lincoln.
Of course,
I think there was a huge improvement with Dan because I know I voted for Dan's Player of the Season. I know you did as well, didn't you, Gaz? Hopefully he hasn't blocked us on social media anymore.
Yeah, Dan. Don't block us, mate. We're your fans, all right?
Sorry, Mitch, but David has also gone for you. Slipping over at Notts County is the funniest moment. And again, the best away game, Wrexham, welcoming, really classy, nothing condescending about them at all. And I think everything that they did that day, it probably just showed that they were a Football League club in waiting, really. Just with everything that they've got about them and a really, really decent fan base as well. People that have been going for years and years and have seen it all and done it all, and they're not going to give stick to other clubs. They've ended up in that National League, and they've been in the National League for 15 years. So
it might be 17 years.
They got fairly used to some of these teams that they were coming up and playing against, and they sort of really took to us when we went up there, which was good. David picked some of the worst aways as well. So he went for Woking. He wasn't a big fan of Woking. He mentioned the stewards at Woking, and he didn't really like the fact that we had to stand so far back from the pitch. And I think a lot of that is because Woking have had issues there with away fans before, haven't they, Dan? So I think everybody kind of gets the same treatment now.
Yeah, that's what that would be. I think it's just a universal, and that might feel a bit maybe harsh if you're, if you bring a comparatively smaller number of fans. But I think that's just, as you say, that's the way they just do it collectively.
Yeah. Barnet, he wasn't a fan of, and I know that's because he didn't have any hot food
and the
in the away end. And then I think they went into what they thought was the bar in the corner, and it was like a bingo hall.
Yeah.
Going there
I went in there.
I think it's the one club as well who didn't have a printed programme. I think it was the one away day who didn't have a printed programme.
Which I know David is a massive fan of. So he comes out there, printed programmes, and David is there.
Yeah, I hate online programs.
Right,
I just can't stand it. I just don't want to go on too about it because that's another story, but I just don't get it. Football is going away, get a program and read through what they're all about.
And then you've got a memory of that day as well then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you get a program, Tom?
I'll get a program.
Do you?
You got away, didn't you?
Excellent.
Anyway, that's my...
Yeah, and his other one was Eastleigh. Wasn't a fan of Eastleigh, and I think a lot of that was because of where the car park was, and it stunk with the drains. That wasn't you, Gary, with the toilets. I think it was more to do with the setup there and everything. And then he also gave some credit to Torquay, best away fans that we'd had at Dorking. Obviously, that was a Tuesday night, fair old trek.
Like 500,
and never stopped singing and getting behind their team. And I know they've got some fans that are based up this way as well that were there. Charlie Baker, I think it is, the guy that does the National League session podcasts and things like that. And wonder whether he'll be doing that next season, obviously, because they're going to now be in the National League South.
Kudos to Yeovan as well, I must just say, because like Torquay, it was a midweek fixture, wasn't it? And for them to bring the numbers they did.
Yeah, and they were in dire straits. Obviously, their season didn't pan out very well, but at that particular point, they were under the previous management, and I think somebody in this room had to get their chairman away under the cover of darkness from their supporters. And then David is particularly looking forward to going to Rochdale next season because I think that's one of the few grounds in the country that he's never been to. And then hoping to beat the points total that we got this year and
good shout.
the ill-fated bloody FA Cup. Wait, the FA Cup first round.
But I like that way of thinking, like beating points for this season. I think that's I think that's how we have to go.
Well, that's where the benchmark's been set now, isn't it? So you want to be looking, if you're a progressive club like we are, then that's where you want to be taking that beyond. And 59 was it in the end we ended up with? Dan, was it 59 we ended up with?
Yeah, I think it was 59, 57.
Yeah.
Should know that, really.
Should know that.
That's poor form, that, yeah. I think so sidetracked by so blindsided by the thing of just we've done it. We're survived.
Points don't matter.
I think it was 57. I want to say 57.
Wait for next season when you do the preview and you say we're looking to beat the points total. X.
Yeah.
Well, next one.
We've got next then. Aid. Yeah, he's contacted us through social media as well. Yeah.
Players he picked, it was a bit of a tie he had. He had Dan Lincoln and Ottaway, which, fair shout, I won't go into detail with Dan, but fair enough. And his game is Mason or Torquay at home.
Yep.
His favourite.
A couple of good 3-2s, weren't they, there?
Yeah.
Tuesday nights under the lights when we're always pretty good anyway.
It's a good night when you're under the lights playing football. Moments, Harry's winner against Torquay, as he believed we would survive from then. So he felt once he got that goal, we were going to...
Yeah.
It was a really big moment, that, because I recall that was the only win in the months of January and February in the league. And of course, then from March, we then obviously really kicked on, didn't we? But that was a real beacon of light, that. So I can see where you get that.
2-1 down.
And for those circumstances as well.
We haven't conceded on half-time, and then they scored right at the start.
Virtually within a minute of the restart, wasn't it?
Yeah, so big win.
Big moment,
Funniest moment, again, Mark with the Gene comment. And also Kidderminster fans bumping into each other on BOA while they were abusing them.
Yeah, they were abusing a bunch of amateurs, weren't they? And then they bumped into each other whilst they were walking towards the ground.
It looked like they were going to some ski resort, what they were wearing.
The goggles on.
That's
all their ultras up there. They were. Right, best away, Dagenham. We had a good view. Good view at Dagenham. Good atmosphere as well. Result and local pub. So
Just with Dagenham, they give you that stand, don't they, behind the goal, and it's you can't argue with that.
As
an away support,
it's nice there. Good elevated view behind the goal. Yeah, really good. Yeah,
good atmosphere, good result, and a nice local pub.
Yeah, it was a nice local pub there actually.
Worst experience he felt was Eastleigh and Bromley. And the away fans also Torquay.
Yeah, so just crediting the Torquay fans.
Is he crediting them?
Yeah,
is he not saying the worst?
Coming to Dorking. Yeah,
Fair enough. So thanks for that, Matt Aid, and thanks for your time again.
Yeah.
Next one.
Who we got next then, Dan?
Andrew Mellors. Are you doing well, Andrew? Player Jimmy Mewett. And again, mentioned earlier on with Jimmy, just really well deserved and great to see he's getting that recognition from the supporters as well. Game gone for Woking away, roller coaster of a game and big away following. I think that's very much up there for the season, isn't it? Real standout on the road. A moment, he's gone for George Frankham's goal against Barnet, and again saw that as a real moment, a defining moment where he could go on and stay up from there. Also mentioned Pryor against Notts County causing mayhem in the away end. Yeah.
So I watched a bunch of amateurs of that today, actually.
Oh, okay.
And you all you could hear on there was us in that away end, and then when that goal went in, it just went nuts. And I gave myself a headache celebrating.
A bit like Mitch's moment. That and the half-time celebration was viral on half-time. He's already gone viral.
He's mentioned that again, hasn't he?
And he has, you beat to it, he's saying on that as well, Mitch covered himself in glory, Best away, Oldham, as his previous game was Hungerford away, so huge contrast between the two games.
Season,
big difference, definitely.
And great moment for Oldham that day as well, and good fans, etc. Again, I personally echo that one with Oldham, but fantastic. Thank you, Andrew.
And Toby, do you want to do this last one? So this guy, Rob Harrison, he is in America, and he contacts us through email. And he did send quite a long email, Rob, and I know I messaged you on Twitter as well. So we have kind of summarised it, but we do obviously really appreciate your support. He said he can't believe that it's going to be your last one, Gaz.
I'll be back. Don't worry about that. I'm just doing a little bit of travelling and I'll be back. You can't get rid of me.
And yeah, he's mentioned you in this. So who's he gone for then, Toby, as his player?
He's gone for Tony Craig, and
Yeah.
like we said earlier, that he's
Yeah.
made a huge impact.
Yeah.
Game Notts County at home, and I can agree with that one. I think
Yeah.
just the way we snatched that from them after Dan Lincoln and Dan Gallagher were standout that game,
Yeah.
and they really saved us at times, to be honest. And then we just took it last couple minutes like that.
Yeah.
Then the Aldershot game with the JP return. Obviously we touched on that, and it was just a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How we some people didn't even know about it.
And Briggs came back that day as well.
Yeah.
It had been announced in the lead up to it. He was looking to get him back in the team, wasn't it? And I know things didn't really work out for Matt in the way that they would have hoped, but he did show signs of coming back, and he's had a really, really bad injury, so he was never going to come back immediately and hit the ground running, because you just cannot get back to full fitness whilst playing matches in this division. And we didn't have the luxury of playing in-house games and things like that to get him back up. So
he did look good on Saturday against when he did come.
when he came on, and he thundered him for that tackle.
Every time he went to the ground, I'm thinking, no. He looked. I'm not saying he looked himself, but he looked. He's on the mend.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to see. Yeah. What's he gone for as his funniest?
His funniest moments is probably a variety. Gary's commentary, going,
mate.
all my days are missing goals.
Missing goals? What are you talking about?
Getting on goal scorers sometimes is quite funny. But don't forget, Rob's obviously watching from the States, so he's listening to all your streams and everything. So he's watching all the games, and
I like
so
that.
credit to him for that. Yeah. And he's even done a best away, hasn't he, Toby, as well there?
Gateshead away, because we stayed up that night. It was a great night celebrating on the stream. But I agree with that. Actually. One of the best away games for sure. Then he's gone worst away game. In contrast, Eastleigh away. It's understandable.
We were 4-0 down after 7 minutes.
I think that's kind of what he's alluded to. Obviously, the goal after 10 seconds. He was just listening to your commentary because there was no stream, I think, for that. The bad start, because obviously that was...
it was really short notice, actually, them not being able to do the stream, wasn't it? Now, just suddenly thinking about it.
Close to kick-off.
I want to say about 20 minutes beforehand. I think they just had some technical difficulties there, and it was really late in the day for that to get pulled. Remember that.
And that was New Year's Day.
And it was, New Year's Day. I think a lot of
start to the year.
I think outsiders accusing one of those lads of maybe still being a bit hungover from the night before, perhaps.
January that was probably the lowest point in the season.
You're right.
You said, funny enough, there, so a bad start of the year, and
bad run of form.
And that's when really
we just kind of got stuck on that 30 points, didn't we?
We had Oldham
30 points.
Space of a week, you had basically your worst away day, your worst home day, because obviously Oldham came the following week, didn't they?
What's he gone for goals-wise then, Toby?
He said he's got quite a few nominated.
He did, to be fair to him, he did send in a lot, and I've just summarised them down.
Luke Moore on the opening day against Chesterfield to get to 2-2. I think that's definitely in for a shout. Just the way he curled it into the top corner.
Great start,
and then McShane's chip against Notts.
So this is the one that you were talking about, Gaz, where the goalkeeper sort of duffed his clearance, didn't he?
Clear properly.
And he just chipped it back over him into an empty net. Yeah.
Lovely job.
He didn't really celebrate either, if I remember.
No,
probably not.
He didn't.
He was just doing his job, as he would say.
Miserable git, I say.
And another one, probably Wheeler at Torquay, like I said earlier, great strike that. Frankham at home to Barnet, that's probably one of my top goals, to be honest. Just the way he gets out his feet and just curls it top corner. And that was one of the pivotal games in the season, because everyone was winning around us, so we had to start winning.
He did also nominate a couple of others. One of them I can remember off the top of my head was Seb Bauman's goal over at Wealdstone.
Yeah, that's right.
Late contender that for one of
the top corner.
Because his first touch as well. I remember in real time, we just thought, he's miscontrolled that. And the next thing you know, he's pinged it in the top bin. So it's
good trap and bag of cement, I said. What else he got? What's he hoping for next year?
He's put some hopes for next year, hasn't he, as well? And
playoffs are just outside. And hybrid system, and then more playing over the summer. So that all really good progression
Yeah.
And he wants to come over for a couple of games next season. So if he does that, and you're listening, Rob, let us know, because obviously you'll be made to feel more than welcome if you do. And they are pretty much everything that we got from fans that came in. There was one other question that we had, which we had before when we had the location football guys on, and I specifically sort of parked it to now, and it was from Steve Chandler, and he just asked a question about the money that was being spent by clubs like Wrexham and Notts County to a lesser extent. Do we see that as the norm for clubs coming down? So those that are going to come down out of the Football League, and how do Dorking Wanderers compete with that level of spend? Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, it's certainly not an exact science. We know that teams in recent years that have come down from League Two, unfortunately, have had these kind of background problems with finances. We know that if you look at Rochdale's coming down obviously into next season, they've had some issue throughout their campaign.
Yeah.
We've seen it first time with Scunthorpe, unfortunately, this year, what's happened behind the scenes there. Parallels with Oldham and Southend in the last 2 years, and in the first half of the season, there's been a bit of a shadow over there, and that's had an effect. So, but certainly in general terms, certainly the last few seasons, it's gone the other way. It's actually been these sides have come down. They're having a kind of restart almost.
Yeah.
But of course,
that clever and sustainable business model, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that more than anything. And unfortunately, it's the case. You go back a bit further, Macclesfield as well. Of course, what's happened to them? That seems to be the thing that really is kind of when you look at clubs that have come down in the last few years. Yeah. But of course, we know as well that EFL and that Sky Bet and the TV. Yeah. There's going to be clubs that do come down who've got a bit more budget straight away. Of course,
also I don't feel the effect of the spending cap that they'll have in the Football League. Yeah. But I do want to just say on that as well, that I know there's a lot of criticism around the guys at Wrexham, the owners and everything for whatever reason, but there's owners that are pulling the heart and soul out of clubs in non-league football and League Two and League One. And these guys are doing everything for the greater good, really, of that club and that town. Yeah, and then you've got clubs that desperately want their owners out or are in the middle of an absolute financial mess off and on the pitch, and they're not targeted. And yet the guys at Wrexham are, for whatever reason. Yeah. And I think for all the bad owners out there, you just have to look at the good ones sometimes.
Well, look at Macclesfield,
what they're doing.
They go under the radar. Savage and his friend who's a businessman. They've got them promoted, and they're not in the limelight because of the two American guys, actors and all that. Yeah. But listen, you've got to take your hat off to people that are willing to put, forget the Wrexham, but willing to put money into a club, because it's not an earner.
No.
You don't earn money out of football club. No. I don't think the likes of Rochdale and Halifax have come down and do what Wrexham have done. Or, I just don't think they will. I think that it's a one-off, that is. I think that's a one-off. I don't know what you think, Toad. I think it's a one-off.
I think it might be a one-off, to be fair. Obviously, Wrexham came from they were on the brink of administration, I think. So,
they were.
If anything, these good owners who have come in and put money into the club and actually want to invest in it have sort of saved, like, if you look at Wrexham, they've kind of changed it and now they're up to the Football League. And
it will be interesting to see how they perform next year in the league. How they...
Look at Stockport. They've gone up and they could go up again.
But that happens quite a lot. First season syndrome. That happened with Harrogate. Yeah. But they were struggling this season.
They're struggling now, aren't
Sutton had a good first season, but they're not struggling, but they're mid-table. Yeah. But so it'll be interesting. But
It does illustrate, though, if I was the question again, irrespective of money, what we've got to remember, just that the margins now between the two divisions, we know it's just as tight as it's ever been. And,
so hopefully that's answered your question, Steve. Right, I've got nothing else, but I do want to say thanks all for all the time that you've given us for this podcast, everything, Gaz.
Oh, no, welcome, mate.
Involvement in everything that you've done at the club, the commentary and everything, mate. And I think I speak for everyone, really, when we wish you all the best on your travels.
Thank you.
You stay safe.
I will.
And look after yourself. Keep in touch with us and everybody at the club.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll see you when you're back.
Oh, yeah, I'll be popping back in when I come back for a few weeks. I do. But no, it's been brilliant. I've loved it. My favourite game was Mason away, when we won 4-3.
Yeah, that was 4-2, wasn't it?
4-2, a big pardon. That's it, I've got to score wrong there. But that was a cracking game, I felt. But no, it was
early season. Yeah. Nice evening.
Lovely.
The away end was bouncing.
It was good away following.
That first official win in the league.
It was first win, wasn't it? First points, not points on the board, but first win. Yeah.
Now, it's been a great season. And like I say, thank you guys all, because without all of us, we wouldn't. And Ollie there, we got mustn't forget Ollie Gow.
Yeah.
Done a great job, and he's behind the camera. Shame he wasn't with us, sitting with us tonight, but he does a great job. And there's lots of people that does a great job for us all. And if it weren't for all of us, Dorking Wanderers wouldn't be where they are. I
think all the fans, everybody that sent messages in, everybody that boosts the profile of the club on social media and does so in the right way, rather than being abusive or negative or downbeat, and always promotes the club as much as possible and pushes people to get on the coaches to the away games for 20 quid and everything, all of those sort of things. I think if you do go to the away games, you certainly have a good day out, don't you? And you get in that in amongst the crowd and get behind the team, and it doesn't go unnoticed by the players and everything as well. Right, and thank you for coming in as well, Toby.
No worries.
Hope we haven't disrupted you from any homework or anything, mate.
No.
Well, good luck with your GCSEs for next year.
And thanks for you as well, Dan, and everything you do at the club as well, and all your match reports and the previews and the hard work and everything. Set you some homework. Got to go away and find out what our points total was at the end.
As soon as it's stop recording, that's the first thing I'm checking is the points tally.
James, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Thanks for all what you've done on this. No worries. And our sponsor as well.
Yeah, so we got our sponsor, Complete Carpentry and Build. Their website there. I forgot to give them a mention at the start, so the owner of that company will probably remind me of that.
Yeah.
But no, our sponsors who have sponsored us all the way through. We've done 10 episodes. Yeah. I think we've covered so much with Mark and the coaches and some of the players and various other things as well. And we'll wrap it up and have a good summer, and we'll go again next year. Well, you won't. But
definitely.
Talking Wanderers is proudly sponsored by Complete Carpentry and Build. Visit www.completecarpentryandbuild.co.uk. Check out their website.